Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are on the original layout. This is the Murphysboro, Illinois to East St. Louis route. And we are here at Streamline Mine, which is right outside of Percy, Illinois. Thankfully, we were early and we are actually going to see a train being built here at Streamline Mine. Enjoy. And now our train is built up and is now leaving Streamline Mine. Now that we've left Streamline Mine, we are here in Percy. We've run ahead here to Sparta, Illinois to try and catch the train. And we raced ahead to Sparta to catch the train. And here we are in Redbud, hoping to catch the train one last time. I hope you enjoyed that video. For me, this train layout is just a lot of fun to build and a lot of fun for me to operate, and it's truly a joy to share it with you. For years, I didn't have a train layout, and I also didn't have, there weren't a whole lot of videos, for instance, on YouTube or anything else. But I just thought about what I would do is read articles, look at forums, and what other people were doing with their layouts. And that kept me interested in the hobby, even when I couldn't necessarily run my own trains. So perhaps if you're watching this video and you're frustrated that you don't have a layout, or your layout isn't nearly as large as you want, that tends to be most of our issues, right? Not enough time, not enough money, not enough space. Well, I hope that hopefully this video will help you and inspire you in a way as you continue your own journey of model railroading. Over the past couple weeks, I ended up picking up 2 cars on eBay. Both of them are GM&O, and both of them are micro train cars. They're essentially the same car, the same road number and everything. One is weathered. I love this car here. Just absolutely beautiful. And the other is the weathered version, which also I absolutely love as well. I remember seeing cars like these parked when I was a child, heavily weathered by this point, in the Carbondale yard, Carbondale, Illinois. I'm sure they were being prepared for scrap. There were a number of cars in the Carbondale yard in the 90s. At that point, the Illinois Central was getting rid of a lot of their old excess equipment and modernizing in a way that those of us who remember the old Illinois Central Gulf, in one sense, kind of miss. There was something about that old Dungy Railroad, their equipment that was, whose paint schemes you couldn't necessarily tell under all the dust and dirt and debris and so forth. And when you look at even the maintenance of the track in many areas, it certainly left a lot to be desired. But there's something special for me about that railroad that no longer exists in the same way. And I think as many of us in the hobby realize, our railroad does change over time. We change over time, and I think we look back and have some sort of nostalgia on what once was. I mean, I look back at the 80s growing up, I look at that as a peak period in railroad history, even though historically speaking, that's not the truth. Those were some of the most difficult periods of time for the railroads themselves. You had the bankruptcy of the Rock Island, the bankruptcy of Milwaukee Road. The railroads were in horrible operating condition by this time. And yet, in one sense, out of those ashes, we have the railroads as they exist today. So as we look back at our own favorite railroads and railroads in general, I believe that every era has something that can teach us something. And, oh, Batman wants to get on the screen. Batman gets very jealous, and including of the railroads themselves. Say hi, Batman. So I think as we look at periods in railroad history, we can glorify certain eras, but there's always been challenges. And if you look at modern railroading today, I think there are a number of challenges as well. And yet the industry continues to thrive, and in spite of itself many times. And I would argue perhaps maybe even today it's thriving in spite of itself, as trains have gotten longer and they've laid off so many workers. I think sometimes there's been an emphasis on quarterly profits rather than trying to build an infrastructure that will continue to persist beyond the next operating quarter and so on. So anyway, take those reflections for what they're worth. But most of all, this hobby is about having fun, about building community. And I want to thank each and every one of you for building that community. Well, I wish you a wonderful day. Please take care. God bless.